or maybe in natural disasters. That's how it should have been, because we got the typhoon. We never got the earthquake in the natural disasters gear.
Yep.
What about you, James?
Answers. Look, James Pete, I apologise, mate. I'm not going to go down the road of the current wrestlers because I'm probably less qualified than Chris because I haven't watched current wrestling for a very, very long time. I'm more of a Legends guy. And I also feel like I feel torn between. I'm not a huge retros fan. I've avoided them, and I'm all in for the heels and faces. But for all intents and purposes, for this one, I'm going to go one-man gang.
Yep.
Like in his one-man gang outfit.
Yep.
I'm going to go Bret Hart. Bret Hart
figures.
Oh, not in retro. You need the more the merrier, in my opinion. And I'm going to go a Hulk Hogan. They haven't done a Hulk Hogan yet.
For the retros. Okay, so you're not, I see. I sort of excluded in my own mind anything that had already been done as Hasbro.
Okay, well, we're going to go down that road.
What could you have that hasn't been made yet? Not what could you just redo?
Look, I think a Bobby Heenan would be awesome.
Bobby Heenan. Imagine a manager's line. Bobby Heenan, Slick, Mr. Fuji, Brother Love. It'd be so cool.
Mr. Fuji.
Genius. I want a genius.
Mr. Fuji would look cool in this type of Hasbro line, won't he?
I bet when you were a kid, I bet you were the sort of kid who would have stood up after he read his poem at the event, The Genius, and you would have copied it and been like standing there with your clipboard. You loved that, didn't you?
No, mate, no. I remember. You know what I remember about The Genius? Whenever Mum would watch with my dad and I, she would just piss herself laughing at The Genius. He was such a character. Hilarious. James, I feel like we've ballsed up your question, to be honest, mate. Thank you for setting that in. And there's so many legends we'd love to add, but mate, in terms of current wrestlers, we're not that good to answer. All right, next up we've got Ibnu Maluno. If you were given a chance to buy a Holy Grail, very rare, very expensive wrestling figure, what would it be? I know my answer straight away.
Well, what is it? Tell us.
So for me, with the Hulk Hogan Series 2 Hasbro being my absolute favourite, I would love to get the hand-painted prototype of that figure. It's the one that we would have seen in all the magazines and all the TV adverts where, if you noticed that his arms weren't stuck together, they were kind of spread out. The mechanism obviously wasn't inserted yet. That would be hands down. I don't know who's got it. It's a guy in the States, a huge collector in the States. That would be my absolute Holy Grail. What about you?
For me, if I could have any figure, it would be Series 1 Hulk Hogan Proto.
Yep.
The Gorilla Press Proto. Very close second would probably be the Macho King Proto. For the one we looked at earlier, Series 2. I just think, or even the Series 1 with the orange trunks. I just think like that iconic, if you could have anything with no budget constraints, it would always be a Hasbro for me. The only thing I would say that's more like realistic is a mail-away Undertaker in bag, because that's something I'd like to have to finish my collection, but I'm not going to pay $5,000 to $6,000 for one.
Yeah, you know that collector that I said's got the Hogan Series 2 prototype. He's also Series 1, and he's also got the Macho King prototype.
And you know what? He's probably a genius because he would have seen these earlier while people were just sitting on their thumbs and said, "I'll take that."
Thank you, Ibnu, for your question. Next up, we have got, while Chris coughs up a lung, this is a good question, Chris, so get your thinking cap on. From Stephen Cook, Jack's produced a number of different molds over the years, such as Beast, the Bone Crunchers, Titantrons, R3 Tech, and Ruthless Aggression. Which was your favourite and which do you believe was the most underrated?
The worst one were the BCAs. They were the worst. I like the Ruthless Aggression. I mean, I think you and I have talked about this beforehand. I do like the Ruthless Aggression. I like the way they were packaged and I like the way they looked. What about you, mate? What was your favourite?
Yeah, the Ruthless Aggression for sure. I think they, very similar to the classic Superstars line, and they're probably the same mould. I reckon they are by far the best out of all the released figures. The R3 Tech, I feel that there's some similarities between them and the current Mattels. Obviously, Mattel is way further down the road in terms of their technology and their development of the figures and the likeness and the scans. But the R3 Tech had some cracking figures. So, I'll say for me, R3 Tech was underrated, and the Ruthless Aggression would be my absolute favourite.
So we need a winner, mate.
That's all of our questions, mate. So we've got to choose a winner. Your turn this week.
Now, I reckon the winner, tough to choose out of those, but because you're paying for the postage, I reckon we choose Ibnu.
Ibnu. Yes, there we go. Ibnu.
So Ibnu, you can. I want to see a FDU stubby holder in the was it Philippines or Indonesia?
Malaysia, I think.
Malaysia. Wherever you are, Ibnu, James will get it to you. He'll send it with express registered post for about $400, and I will look forward to you posting on the page when you get it with one of your fig shots, maybe.
Congratulations, Ibnu. And now, well done on the fig shots too. Phenomenal effort. All right, let's get into the next segment. Chris is about to cark it. So next up, we've got, can I have your attention, please?
Can I have your attention, please? Please listen. Can I have your attention? Everybody, attention.
All right, Chris, you save your voice, and I'll just go through some of the great behaviour and
I'll just do this
to some of our members in the Figs Down Under community and the Wrestling with Figs podcast community. I'm going to kick it off with Junk Shop Dog, Portia, and Adam. They got a shout out on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast last episode, which makes me proud every time I hear that, and that was for their Terry Funk prototype reveal. So well done, guys, and support local. We're all about supporting local. So support Junk Shop Dog, who sells some great figures and is producing his own Safubi toy line. So well done, guys. Mike Dean, this is what I love seeing in our group. So Mike Dean, Rocco Madaffrey, I know he's listening tonight, so he can vouch for this. He was looking for an Elite Series 85 Karma. Now, Mike reached out to him. So he listed on our Figs Down Under Find a Fig section, and Mike Dean reached out and said he had a spare and offered it to him at cost. And I know there's many people buying them on the shelves and selling them for double the price on eBay. So that's what this community is all about. It's supporting your fellow collector. And I love seeing that. So well done, Mike Dan, and well done, Rocco. Thanks for SysDog, who's created all of our audio. We really appreciate the work SysDog has done. And Adam Topless, who makes Chris and I sound a lot better. And, he's our audio engineer dude, and he's done the Go Figure ads, and we appreciate Adam's support. So,
just with Adam, how good is his voiceovers?
Oh, he's brilliant. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be a voiceover artist. He's got the voice for it, hasn't he?
And you know what? I did was it last week I did the Skeletor?
Yes. Yeah.
And he gave me good feedback for my Skeletor. Today you did the Crane. What are we going to bring next week? What are we going to bring next week?
Let's see. Hey, listen, we've got Steve Campbell here. I always like to make Steve happy. So, Steve, this one's for you. He did ask a question, but I'll tell you why, Steve, we didn't answer it because it wasn't in the actual thread. You answered my my post, but that's okay for you. We will do this. So his question was, how did we bring it up with our wives that we were collectors?
Well, my collection grew after being in a relationship. So it seems to... like there wasn't any really bringing up. It was more, this is what I'm doing. You don't like it. So it's, there's not really any bringing it up. It's just, it's an interesting topic of discussion though when I have people come to my house and they see the collection who aren't like friends of mine, maybe friends of hers, or people who are, like we had this guy here recently to do some pest control at our house. So he, those people who they check their property for termites and everything else. Anyway, walked around the house, went upstairs where my collection is, saw it, and then I wasn't here. My wife said, he asked if you could take a photo of it. He was so impressed. And I was like, yes, that's what we want to hear. So,
awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
I got a funny story. So recently I bought the Super Shredder and the Foot Soldier, and I was on the phone. To Ryan Adams, who I bought it from. And my wife was walking in the hallway, and she come back and said, "I've never ever thought in my life would ever hear my husband say, 'Hey, is my super shredder in the mail yet?'" So we have a laugh about it. But Steve, to answer your question, very similar to Chris, I had all my Hasbros and stuff at my parents' house. It's probably since we got married, probably in the last 10 years that I just actually, you know what kicked off my collecting again? It was the classic Superstars line being released. and having the old legends come out. That's what kind of instigated the addiction and the hobby again. So she's all cool with it. She loves it. She wants me to embrace it a lot more. But yeah,
Good one.
That's it.
Hey, now, hang on. Let's just go back and do the. Now that we've included Steve in Q&A, I'll decide on the winner for the stubby holder. Hang on. Ibnu. There you go. Yeah. Sorry, Steve.
Ibnu, stubby holder's coming your way. We'll use the company credit card for that, hey?
Sure, mate. Just use Jeff's. Yeah. Be fine.
All right, I think that'll do us for this week, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a positive review. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever else all good podcasts are played. This will not only help us spread the word, but it'll also grow our audience. Check out our website at wrestlingwithfigs.com. You can find Wrestling with Figs podcast on the following social accounts: Facebook at Wrestling with Figs Podcast, on Instagram at Wrestling with Figs Pod, Twitter at With Figs Podcast, YouTube at Wrestling with Figs Podcast, and always use the hashtag The Hunt Never Ends, because you know why, Chris?
The hunt never ends, Jamesy.
Thank you so much, legends. We'll see you all in the toil aisle. Stay safe.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.